Previously on LMM, the mighty 106 was restored back to life, and Morgan had his first ever taste of a McDonald's breakfast. Suitably impressed, he and Lawrie returned to the stricken BMW to have it recovered by the AA, and then he was dropped off for a hire car for the long drive home, leaving Lawrie to return to Skye, marvelling at the absolutely jaw-dropping scenery that lay in front of him, taking every single opportunity to marvel at his mighty 106, and rambling on about just how much he loved the car as it ate up the terrain on the long drive back towards Fort William. And now, the continuation of LMM's After Skye.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is the town of Fort William, the last bastion of any kind of, well, anything in the Highlands. So it looks like possibly a fishing town once upon a time. Been on the side here, there are some fishing boats. But basically, it's the last bit of major civilization until Skye, and there isn't really much civilization on the Skye. It's a very quiet place. But this is the last place you're going to see street lights and shops and stuff for really quite some time. It really does feel a bit like the old Wild West. This feels like the last chance to see anything before you go off into the frontier. It does kind of, it feels very much this stock up and supplies kind of level. So next plan is to pull over, and somewhere around here there's a nice car park, so we're going to go and see what the view is overlooking Fort William.
So off I went again, exploring the winding roads, revealing yet more breathtaking scenery, until finally I found a car park.
Popping and banging 106.
It was great to be able to get out of the car and take in the tranquility and the majesty of the scenery. That was, of course, until our resident hoodlum turned up, shattering any sense of serenity with the twin exhaust MR2. And of course, Matt did have an excuse for his somewhat tardy timekeeping.
So, pulling away over there is the lovely Skye police officers who just pulled me over. For some bizarro land reason, the car is coming up as not insured on their database, despite being insured. They've done a call to my insurer, which is Adrian Flux, and it's all sorted out now, but I think I'm going to have a word with them when I get home, because I was supposed to be meeting Lawrie, but on the good news, I didn't run out of fuel getting here, which was a very, very serious issue, but I think this trip might be cursed.
And with that, Matt had made his way through the stunning scenery, talking a lot less than I had, to go meet me.
So, reunited with the loud one, we set off on our adventure. And we had but one thing, one desire that we wanted to do. And no, it wasn't drive these amazing roads together. It was time to find some dinner.
That's a London taxi there, ladies and gentlemen. They are a very, very long way away from home.
And with that, we found somewhere good to park, and then we found somewhere better to eat.
That is dinner taken care of, which means the only thing now is to trundle the 3-hour drive back up onto Skye.
Might be I need to have a shave tonight.
I will. I mean, I quite like you with a bit of a beard. I think it's defining, gives you character.
It's quite wet now, isn't it?
Yeah, it does look damp. It is pretty damp. Oh yeah, every single person I've talked to here hates the tourists. So I was chatting to the recovery guy when Morgan got recovered, and he was like, and I said, you can tell the tourists, can't you? Within like 10 seconds, you know which are the tourists and which are the locals. And he went, yep, locals are the ones hard up the backside of the tourists. And he did a very good kind of mime of a tourist gawping at every hill going, oh, look a hill, I've never seen one of them before. Let's drive slow in the middle of the road. And I found it very funny.
Well, the definition he uses, we're locals.
Yes, or yeah, we are, or at least we are competent, which is equally scary. I will say, for the record, I'm on 1,313 miles in the little 106.
As you realise, well, I kicked over on the way here. I'm on 1047.
Still, Jesus, we've done this in what, 3 days?
Not a bad rate of knots, to be fair. And nevis up ahead. Completely shrouded in mist.
It is pretty impressive, isn't it? Like, quite imposing, disappearing off into the mist up there.
Just disappears into the cloud layer.
To be fair, I'm quite impressed to like be, near it and be like, oh yeah, big mountain. I know that it's kind of killed a day having to take Morgan back, but I'm so happy to have the opportunity to drive these roads and just have a reason to go up and down a couple of times.
That's why I wanted to come down to Cornwall here.
Yeah, that makes sense. And just because this is glorious, having an open road in front of you, it's just magnificent.
Right, to some degree, I actually like Scotland more when it's in London fog. Just about like this level, because you can just, it seems like mysterious almost in a way.
It's got a certain magic to it. It's like mystical.
Also just feels more Scottish.
Oh yeah, this definitely feels very authentic. I'll give you that. This is an authentic Scottish experience.
When we get nice sunny weather on Skye, it doesn't really feel Scottish at all. It just feels like, where am I?
I think that's got a certain, how lucky were we with the weather? It was stunning, wasn't it? I mean, coming up here for a couple of days, it's the problem with it, like planning to come up is, you could just have weather like this for like 5 days and be like, hardly got out of the house. And when I did get out of the house, I got wet. And then I'm in a caravan, so it's very hard to dry off. That said, like the amount we've driven through here, and you get wet in one area and then just drive onto another area and it's fine. It's very, easily changeable.
I think you're forgetting as well that we're covering like hundreds of miles and there's giant mountains everywhere which act as weather breaks, so each valley is going to have a completely different weather system normally.
Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, there's been a lot of it that I've kind of come through and it's been like, wow, this is stunning. Like, and then you come around the next valley and you see the weather coming, like you see the rain coming through, like, oh wow, like, I can actually see the rain rushing down this valley towards me.
Another reason why hilly terrain is better than flat old stuff like this.
I'm in agreement. This is far more entertaining. Well, I suppose the only upside of this as well is the rain will help keep everything cool, won't it? Like, engines being bombarded with water, that will keep it a bit cooler.
We pressed on as light fell. Still, the scenery remained its mystical and breathtaking qualities. And still, we knew we had a long way yet to drive.
Stunning. I love it. I feel so privileged to be able to do this.
I just feel so jealous I don't get to do it more often.
Yeah. Although it helps keep it special if it's rare like this.
And as we finally got onto Skye, there was no light at all save the light from our 2 little cars.
So surreal driving down this section here with the headlights illuminating the side of the road and then the road just carries on straight, dipping down. It's just like, it just disappears into the abyss. It's like a dreamscape. You're just driving down this road, illuminated sides and no end to the road, just like infinitely going on. It's magic, that bit.
Until finally, at what was becoming a very annoying reoccurring habit, we arrived at our accommodation at midnight. Dawn broke over our last day on Skye, and Matt went to check the MR2.
So dear viewer, if you'll pay attention, my car still works. And was there a fountain of steam behind me? No. And my MR2 cooling system has never been touched, so I'm assuming it's going to go on this trip.
So this morning, before we head out onto our next destination, which is the other side of Scotland,
thought I'd give a walk around on the 106 and just see how the coolant is doing. And the answer is there wasn't really much lift in the car. When I popped it this morning, despite the car being off for a good 8 hours, there was still pressure in the system. When I removed the top, it just went pop. So my system's overpressurising. So I assume that's what caused the pipe to fail, wasn't overpressurised.
Right, I'm good, let's roll.
He's ready. So that means either I have a leak, I have a head gasket failure, or something else. But it really does show the importance on when you're doing something like this and not assuming that the car is fine and checking that the car is fine, because that's a bad very much on me. If I'd checked it in the morning before we went out, we'd probably been okay. Now onwards and up we go. So where we are, well, the knowledge of the leak in the cooling system is rather impacting upon my enjoyment of the trip. I am still loving the roads, but it's kind of tinged with this fear that the 106 isn't as happy as I thought it might have been. Knew the car had issues, but it's now a kind of, when's this going to become a problem? We still have a lot of mileage to do and a lot of places to go, and I'm like, and also just for the pride, I would really like the car to get back on its own steam.
40, mate.
Is it? No, that's for lorries, mate. That's for lorries. We're not lorries.
Oh, didn't realise.
Yeah, they got lorry signs with 40. They slow the lorries down, but nah, not us. It's probably just for the people in the houses, just slow them down and make the lorries easier to deal with, you know, so they're not hurtling past the wow as it opens up. Oh, and the ferry's coming in. Oh, that is all absolutely magnificently pretty. It's so quite, it's picturesque, absolutely. Like that's a picture of Skye right there, with the sky, the boats, just guys, you gotta get to Skye. You really gotta get to Skye. It is just unbelievably pretty. Unbelievable. Everything's just amazing. The whole island's like the saturation filter's been turned up. It looks incredible, just every which way you look. There's mountains everywhere. Just inspiring. It really is an absolutely stunning place. And then the road here just opens up into just, there's nothing. There's the road, mountains, heather, and some pine trees. Oh, and mountains again. That's it. Head gasket failure can cause overpressurization of system, right?
Yeah, but you notice more faults than just that.
I'm wondering if it's just like a very slight leak, because it only had a very slight leak last time the head was done. But if it was that would imply I've got issues and going to have to have stuff skimmed and probably just set fire to it.
I do the call then. Might explain why there was a leak. There's not actually a leak, it's just putting pressure through and keep causing it to come out the overbleed.
That would make sense. That would make sense. And that would also explain why on the pressure tests it was coming back as, yeah, that would make sense.
We'll put the tester on it when we get back.
Yeah, we can do, because when it went over to Talk Automotive at Milton Keynes, so it was over that way, doing something with JM, or I can't remember, and he tested it, and he was like, I'm sure it's head gasket, and it took about five tries, about 30 minutes for the liquid to change colour, because it was such a minor leak. But, so it had a head gasket change a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years. So if it was a head gasket, that means we got an issue on the engine that needs to be addressed.
Was the head skipped when the gasket was changed?
No, it was done with the boys. When we put it onto, it looked fine. Kind of had a straight edge against it, and it was like absolutely dead on. So that said, it has been often been skimmed before, because you can see the marks of where it's been skimmed. It's not a particularly good one. It's a fast one. You can see like the swathe marks in it.
Could just do what Morgan had and swap a engine from a VTS or a VTR in it.
If it does end up being that there's a problem with the engine, I think I will be putting a bigger engine into it and just giving the 106 a bit more oomph. I do like it being an eco wagon, but it'd be quite nice if it had a bit more chunk.
Still be an eco wagon with one of the VTS engines in it. They generally do okay. As long as you're not dragging it everywhere, you're going to do fine with it. It's only a 1.6.
Well, yeah, and there's no weight for it to pull to the edge, just like an idle everywhere if you're not killing it.
You might even see an economy increase because it won't be carby.
Yeah, this is possibly true, yeah. Yeah, possible. I can get the Quicksilver light to go on it. I think I could easily spend like a month up here just poodling around, just stopping and looking at everything, because it's just incredible.
Oh, definitely. There's lots of things I'd like to do over here as well.
If we do come up with the boys, with the rest of the team, we should do a photo challenge one day. Like just have the entire morning to just disappear off on the island and get the best picture of your car on the island.
Yeah, definitely.
I really, really want the 2 for that, because the 2 just looks incredible in these kind of hills. I don't think there really is anything that will ever quite prepare you for the majesty of being on Skye. It's just one of those places that's so awe-inspiring that it really needs to be experienced. It's not something that you can see photos of or hear tales of, or say watch a couple of idiot YouTubers drive around on and get a sense of what it's like. It's somewhere you have to go yourself. You have to go here, guys, and just drive it and just experience it. I mean, we've been lucky with the weather. We've had a lovely day walking around, as you've seen. And even today, it's drizzly at the moment, but from a driving perspective, it's just lovely. I've got the heater slightly cracked. I'm lovely and warm, and I'm just loving every second of this scenery. With the nagging worry of the 106's heater cooling system, just there. But the views at the moment, and the fact I've done these roads enough now to be quite relaxed and comfortable with them. Just kind of, oh, there's a poor tractor there. There's a poor tractor there that needs saving.
No.
Can I tow it back to the shed? I've got a tow rope. Do you know what I genuinely really love? Is the fact that your kind of perspective changes. Like here we're in the lowlands next door to the lake, looking across it, looking up at the mountains. And then in a couple of minutes we'll be back up on a mountain track looking down on it, like nestled in the mountains. It's so amazingly changeable, the road.
Yeah, it just makes it always interesting.
Yeah, it is a very interesting thing. That's beautiful, with all the rocks and everything down there. One of the things about the 106 as well that I continue to love is the fact it's popping, but it's got pops and bangs. Which it shouldn't do, but I'm pretty sure there's a hole in the exhaust somewhere. But just foot off on the overrun, pop, 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 pop. Just it just makes me happy. It really does make me happy. And so just kind of so far on our journey now, we've been going long enough for the engine to get warm. The needle is sat notably lower than it was on the way back. But yeah, anyway guys, if you've got the chance, get yourself a group of friends together, some cars, preferably better than ours, not necessarily faster or more sporty, but just more reliable, and head out to Skye and just have yourself a driving adventure. Because even with everything that's happened, this has been just an experience. It's been such an adventure. Goodbye, Skye. Thank you for a lovely trip. This bridge is so much more impressive in the daylight. done this route several times now. We came up and we met going up to Skye, and then we've driven up. I've driven down to take Morgan back to his car, and then driven back up to Skye. So we've done this road several times. What we're about to do though is turn left and head towards, I don't know, Lawrie, something like that. And this will be a new adventure, somewhere that I have never been before. So just like that, off the road we knew, and into adventures new. There we go. Welcome to the Wester Ross Coastal Trail. Sounds exciting. And already the road is climbing uphill quite steeply. Oh wow, it's going up there. Oh wow. So you know how we spent this majority of the trip waxing lyrical about how wonderful the roads are around Skye and how much fun they are to drive? This is better. Apart from this bit, which is very, very steep uphill and I'm losing speed in third gear. Apart from that, roads are pretty magnificent, to be honest. Oh, we are underpowered for this. Oh, we are so underpowered. Please level off. Please level off. Leveling. The section we've just done follows the railway line, and you roar down this hill, winding away, feeding your way through, and it's frankly some of the best driving roads I've ever been on. And the 106 just flew down. It was absolutely incredible. Absolutely just the most fun I've had on a road for a very long time. And apart from the long uphill, which the 106 really did not enjoy, we're now on another beautiful winding downhill. These have been, without doubt, the single best roads I have ever driven. Winding down the sides of mountains, then curving through valleys, winding back up again. It's just been absolutely incredible. I feel so privileged to be able to have driven that. And the 106 loved it. It was like a little rally car fighting its way, just gliding through. It was such an amazing experience to be able to just flow through the bends. It was like water running down a stream, just from one side to the other, grazing the apex. It was just, one of the single best experiences I've ever had in a car was that there. And now it's opened back up into this. We're in this valley down in the foothills of the mountains, I don't know where. And it's, without no rhyme or reason, we've gone from being almost single track, and in some places single track, tiny little road, to wide, open, nice surface. I mean, it's no longer twisty and technical, but it's just, frankly, quite beautiful. It's a bit different to how Skye was. It's a bit more kind of expanded, but it's still just gorgeous. We've got bits of heather and other wildflower out, and it's still like the saturation's at 110%. Just these roads are, it's just incredible. But it's just, I've never been anywhere like it. I've never driven anything like it. It's just absolutely beyond all words. L&M team will be back up here. We will be back up here because this is just something else. And they just changed this, just a ribbon of tarmac going on as far as I can see. And now it's just clear open road for me and Matt to just drive. It's just, it's incredible. It's absolutely mind-bogglingly incredible. What a place to drive. There's a railway over there as well to my side, and I'm just like, what an amazing place to have a railway. The views as the train trundles its way across here must just be spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. Come on, little 106. Temperature's creeping up. Keep yourself going, come on. it really does feel like it's the middle of the world. Like there's nothing here. There's no houses. In fact, where I am on this section of road here, I can see absolutely no sign of civilization, save these two cars going the other way and that behind me. There is nothing else. There's a gate, there's the railway, and there's the road. There's no houses, there's no huts, there's no farms, there's nothing. It's just wide open expanse. And it's beautiful. It's one of the few places in the UK I think I've ever been that you just can't see some form of civilization somewhere. So you might kind of have picked up how much I'm enjoying this road and how much I'm praising this road for being superb. And I've just seen the sign and worked out why it's so good and why I'm enjoying it so much. Because it is the legendary NC500, one of the best driving roads in Europe. And we've stumbled upon it, happening to make our way across Scotland. We happen to be driving on one of the best roads in Europe. So one of the best roads in the UK, by default. And I'm driving my little 106 down one of the best roads in the world. That makes me very happy. Makes me very, very happy. Didn't mean to take the 106 onto it, but I'm really happy that I have. Really, really happy. It's amazing how much the scenery changes as well. Like from earlier being in amongst the mountains and diving down the sides to just running along almost a ridge here, and down to my right there's a river meandering its way down through the gully, through the valley, heading the same way as us, or probably flowing that way to the sea. Although it does look down ahead, so I don't know which way they're flowing. But it's just so pretty. And the weirdest thing is over there, there's just nothing. It's just like, I don't know, moorland, peatland, bogland, something. There's no trees. There's trees on the horizon and trees there, but over there's nothing. It's just a featureless landscape with a mountain. It's incredible. Really is absolutely unreal. So another thing to add to your list, guys, NC500 and Skye. These are places that the LMM team recommend that you visit and you drive before you can't do it anymore. Just get out there and do it. It's just there's nowhere like this on earth. It's just absolutely beyond any. I don't have the words, guys, to be able to give the scenery, the sensation of driving here justification. I just can't. I think it's a problem with life these days, full stop. I think everybody moves too fast. Everyone's too self-absorbed, kind of busy working in their own little lives and what they've got to do, and being able to just sit back sometimes and just go, this is just amazing. I don't think enough of us get the opportunity to be able to do it. And just it's just amazing. So something else, guys, make some time for yourselves. Like, get a breather in. I mean, that's coming from us and we're stupidly busy, but just sit down and appreciate some of the things in life, like some amazing great mountains. One of the best driving roads in the world, they said. Well, certainly in Europe. They weren't lying, guys. They really weren't lying. I don't think anybody has had this much fun in a Peugeot 106 ever. Certainly not a stock one, maybe the rally and, you know, ones who actually took it proper rallying, but 1.1 litre 106, I don't think anybody has ever enjoyed a drive as much as I'm enjoying this. This is the most fun you can have in a Peugeot 106. There is literally nothing on this earth that would be better than this. And the best thing about it is that she keeps popping and banging, and just on the overrun there, and take off as we slow down just let off the throttle for a bend. You get the little burble and the little pop. Just kind of, she's playing back. She's happy here. This is what she likes doing. Yeah. The 106 loves it. The 106 absolutely loves it. I'm sure back behind me in the MR2, Matt has got an equally large grin on his face as we just fly. It is almost akin to flying the way you weave along this road, and so much of it's so good. There's bits of road which aren't good, but at the moment the surface is superb. There's bits in the middle of the road that aren't so good, but the rest of it, it's just magnificent. And the way the little 106 just darts through every corner, every single bump, it's just like, okay, that's not a problem, I can deal with this. It's a superior little car. It is the best little car. It's fantastic. Never thought that you could enjoy a road so much in a small car. Apart from this thing that's just, let's be fair, this car does drive really nicely. It's a lovely car to drive. Everyone who's gone out in it, Morgan admits it, Matt says he likes driving it. It's a really, really nice car to drive. It really is. And on here, it just does really well. It does a really good job of hurtling through this lot.
I might have to drop out fourth at this rate.
I had to go into second there to get back up to speed enough to put it back to third.
After a brief break of driving on some of the more boring roads, we were soon back climbing the hills.
Massive climb.
For I had arranged to go and see a friend of mine whilst we were up in Scotland, even though it was on the other coast.
I don't think the mountain climb on Skye was like this.
We did just go straight up the side of a valley, to be fair. We were at the bottom of that a second ago, and now look how high up we are.
Yeah, ridiculous.
My friend had a collection of vehicles that I have a soft spot for, reliant three-wheelers, and we spent far too much time chatting about the quirky little vehicles, and so it was dark by the time we set off to look for our accommodation to complete the 340-mile epic trip. However, Scotland wasn't finished with us yet, and once again, the poor little 106 suffered a failure. So tune in next time to find out what happened and will it make it home.